3, Bundaberg North State High, Dusty Crossett. Lane 4, Cathedral School, Oscar Holland. Lane 5, Somerset College, Ezra Zazelle. Lane 6, Genesis Christian College, Hamish Tarathu. Rockhampton Grammar in Lane 7 with Arj Waylon Kane. Lane 8 is Cathedral School again with Heath Collier. Lane 9, Trinity Lutheran, Toby Burrows. And Lane 10, Rockhampton Grammar School, Harrison Zhao. And they're looking nice, ready to go. The weather looks quite lovely down there, and let's hope these grade 8s get off to a nice start. And they're underway. Nice start in lane 9 there, which is Trinity Lutheran Toby Burrows. And I'm going to introduce Chris, who's going to join us on the commentating box.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Queensland Schools State Championships 2025. We are well underway with the schoolboy or championship boys year 8 single sculls heat 1. We have got a full docket here from lanes 1 to 10, racing over this 1,000 meters. Our athletes are all engaging this headwind to start the morning off. Nothing to deter us from the excitement of today. Lane 1, Shalom 3, James Smith. Lane 2, Kenmore State High School, Finn Robertson. Lane 3, Bundaberg North State High School, I must presume, it's Dusty Crossett. Lane 4, Cathedral School, Oscar Holland. Lane 5, Somerset College, Ezra Zozzle. Lane 6, Genesis Christian, Hamish Trewethel. Lane 7, Rockhampton Grammar, AJ Whaling Kane. In Lane 8, Cathedral School, Heath Collier. In Lane 9, Trinity Lutheran, Toby Burrows. And Lane 10, Rockhampton Grammar School, Harrison Zhao. And it does look to be our sculler in Lane 9 from Kenmore State High School, currently leading this event. This is the first heat. Our first 4 scullers will progress to the semi-final. Challenging conditions from these scullers, but I think they're all managing really, really well. And forgive me, no, that's Trinity Lutheran taking out the lead here. Doing a great job, just looking around there, making sure he's done enough to secure his place moving forward to the semi-finals. As I said before, the top 4 go through. Just a little bit of a crab there, but I think he's done enough to secure himself a place in the semi-finals. And progressing through to that last 250 meters. The field is definitely tightened up as we saw that sculler from Trinity have a little bit of a crab there, but he's still leading this race. 3 boats have moved away from the rest of the field, securing them. I'm quite happy to say they will be securing themselves a spot in the final. It looks like lane 5 of Ezra Zozzle from Somerset College in that second position. Trinity, though, maintaining their lead coming into the final stages of this race. These scullers working really hard, and very important to make sure they're holding that connection through, sitting up tall into the headwind.
Limit, quick.
You can hear the cheers on the headland. These guys getting a little bit more motivated to finish this race. But young Toby Burrows doing a fantastic job holding his lead. He's managed to move away from the field, put clear water on those following 2 scullers. Exceptional work here. He's going to set the tone of the regatta. The first race of the day, taken out by Trinity Lutheran College of the Gold Coast. Toby Burrows taking up that second spot. That next qualifying place will be our Rockhampton sculler of AJ Wyaralong Kane, coached by Luke Barry and Kimberly Brown. In third place looks to be the Cathedral School of Oscar Holland. And what a finish! I have to tilt my hand to the camera, can't quite call it, off my eye would be the Somerset College scullers, but do not hold me to that. I will have to wait for an official result. But an exceptional work here, and as we see the latter end of the race as our scullers are coming through. Another sculler there in lane 8 from Cathedral of Heath Collier, and Rockhampton Grammar of Harrison Zale. Coming up the rear is our sculler James Smith from Shalom. Doing a great job. These are challenging conditions, not easy out there. And these are our Year 8 school boys single scull. We have 5 heats in this event with a progression of first 4 places through to the semi-final. As we turn our heads to the start line of our second heat of the Championship Schoolboys Year 8 single scull. 9 boats in this event. In lane 2, Trinity Lutheran College, Austin Lynn. Lane 3, Rockhampton Grammar School, Oscar Miller. In lane 4, Rockhampton Grammar 4, Heston Tranchidia. In lane 5, Somerset College, Misha Zupko. In lane 6, the Cathedral School, Charlie Parfrey. Lane 7, the Cathedral School 1, Evan Dipinier. Lane 8, St. Stephen's, Chance Gaskell. In lane 9, Shalom, Hugh Makepeace. In lane 10, Varsity College, Zach Patterson. And our rowers have got off to a fantastic start. That intensity is still up there. It looks like our rowers in the middle of the field there, leading the way, trying to break away from the pack. I'm clocking some of these scullers in the high 30s on their stroke rate. And at this stage, I would say it's quite close between our St. Stephen's sculler and our sculler from the cathedral, or sorry, yes, I would say the cathedral school there, moving ahead of the pack, but all boats are still very much in contact as we progress through the first 250 meters of our race. Once again, we can see that ripple on the water, that wind blowing directly up the course. Not the easiest of conditions, but I'm sure more than manageable from this level of sculling. The key is they're moving into that middle 500 of the race. Just really working on good rhythm, maintaining solid length. Often you'll see rowers might drop the stroke rate to manage the conditions that little bit better. There's definitely our scullers in the middle of the field there, managing to move away from the pack. It does look like we have a clear 4 sitting ahead. And that's us progressing through the halfway mark. Still an element of solid racing between these 4 scullers, but you can see that they've definitely managed to do the work in the first half of the race to ensure they've moved away from the pack to get one of those top 4 qualification spots. At this stage, minus anything catastrophic happening, I would say it's our scullers just trying to ensure they get the better lanes for the semi-final. And there you can see our sculler from St. Stephen, Chance Gascal, looking at his competitors, doing a great job trying to maintain the lead. Being challenged there by Cathedral though, slightly lower in rate. You can see that sculler, Evan Dippenaar from Cathedral School, doing a great job to maintain his boat speed. As I said, you can see the rate, stroke rate there, that little bit lower to try and hold on and manage the conditions. Chance Gascal there, a little bit more upbeat. Just trying to make sure he holds on to that response from the Cathedral sculler there, doing a little bit of a push moving into the final 250 meters, having a look over his shoulder. He's just trying to get himself ahead. He's obviously on a mission to take that top qualification spot. Probably spending a little bit too much time watching the Cathedral sculler. But Evan Dippenaar there from the Cathedral School in Townsville, maintaining his stroke rate, keeping it long. Moving into the red boys here, the intensity lifts. Misha Zupku from Somerset College on the Gold Coast. Just holding his control as we move into the final stages of this race, but it would be Evan Dippenaar doing that late little burst to move himself into that first position. Well raced there by young Evan from the Cathedral School as he moves away from the field to take away that first position and will progress quite comfortably through to the semi-final. Followed there by Chance Gascal of St. Stephen's. Misha Zupku taking out third, but the real race now is for that final qualification place between our sculler from Shalom and Trinity Lutheran College, but it will be our sculler from Shalom taking it out, progressing through, just beating that sculler Austin Lynn on the far side there in lane 2 from Trinity Lutheran. Those will be our 4 qualifiers. As we look down the course though, still a race going on for the minor positions. With Rockhampton Grammar, Varsity College, and Rockhampton Grammar again crossing the field. And then our final racer of this event. Again, the Cathedral School, Charlie Pathway, will head up the rear of this event. And that is our second heat of the Year 8 single scull. And on the course now, we have well into our race number 3 of the Schoolboy Championship Single Scull. In lane 2, Rockhampton Grammar, Cooper Becker. In lane 3, Rockhampton Grammar 7, Cooper Lai Kennelly. In lane 4, Trinity Lutheran College, Santino Silvera. In lane 5, Varsity College, Yuhan Kang. In lane 6, the Cathedral School, Nate Brooks. In lane 7, Ignatius, Lachlan Frame. In lane 8, the Cathedral School, Hugo Richardson. In lane 9, Somerset College, Tamir Sabatov. And in lane 10, Genesis Christian, Mitchell Hobbs. And these rowers are well into the second half of this race. And it's our sculler there in what looks to be the bright pink boat, leading this event, I believe, that being Hugo Richardson of the Cathedral School. And he's done a great job. So it looks like Cathedral have another race leader in this event. Young Hugo there having a look around, making sure he's cleared the field. And the boat called Huru. Our sculler there, Tamir Sabatov from Somerset College. Looks to be Genesis, Somerset, and Trinity out on the far side there, fighting it out for the remaining qualification spots. But our sculler here, Hugo Richardson from the Cathedral School, still maintaining his lead. However, we can see those later pushes. Trinity on the far side of Santino Silvera, lifting the stroke rate, trying to make sure he is within the reach of that final qualification spot. We have Somerset and Genesis both in those top 4s, and again another sculler from the Cathedral School. Sorry, forgive me, that might be our Varsity College sculler. But it will be young Hugo Richardson taking out the win in Heat 3. Hugo will progress through to our semi-final, followed there by Somerset College of Tamir Sabatov. Trinity Lutheran will take out 3rd, and Genesis Christian 4th. And those 4 scullers moving through to our semi-final. 5th place going to Varsity College. And there's a fantastic race going on the back end of this. Got 3 scullers. They're not letting pride dismay them. They might not have been progressing through to the semi-finals, but they still sense that sense of pride in finishing, making sure they do their schools right and justice by ending up further up the ladder. And they are getting sent off hot and fast at the moment. Again, if we turn our eyes to the course, we're now in our 4th heat of the Schoolboys Year 8 single scull. And at this stage, I would say it looks to be one of our scullers from Rockhampton Grammar who's taken an early lead and moving away from the field. Just doing that quick roll call in lane 2, Genesis Christian, Rocco Messedin. In lane 3, Rockhampton Grammar 6, Henry Huang. In lane 4, Rockhampton Grammar 1, Oliver Moore. In lane 5, Ignatius, Lachlan Lambert. In lane 6, The Cathedral School, Daniel Pang. In lane 7, Somerset College, Jamie Dirk Samir. In lane 8, Shalom, Jet Shouten. In lane 9, Trinity Lutheran College, Jay Bush. And in lane 10, The Cathedral School, Ethan Raidmaker. And do forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, for any mispronunciation. We'll just put that down to the cute South African accent. But I will do my best. But how's this? Our sculler there. Rockhampton Grammar there, lane 4. Oliver Moore. Holding a stroke rate there of 31 strokes a minute. Look at the power on that finish. Maybe a little bit too much power there. Missed the water slightly. But he is driving away. He is dictating this race from a very early stage and making sure he maintains it through the second half. He is powered away from the field and not letting it go. We can see this race a little bit more spread out. Young Oliver Moore having done the work early on and just sitting there in a nice calm rhythm. And then as we look further down the course, it looks to be the Cathedral Sculler of Daniel Pang. And then the Trinity Lutheran Sculler, forgive me, no, another Cathedral Sculler, Ethan Raidmaker, taking out that those next 2 qualification spots. Ethan having a look over at the bank, just checking the marker, seeing how far he's got to go. Give me Somerset College, Jamie Dirksma. He's young Jamie and Ethan racing it out for that second spot, both having moved far away from the fields to secure themselves inside that top 4 qualification spots. And it looks to be our Trinity Lutheran Sculler of Jay Bush. He's done a push there, the 250 meter mark, moving away from the Cathedral Sculler on the inside of him. Does look like we've had a few lane swaps coming down the course. Like again, these conditions can be quite tricky to manage. Sculler's doing a fantastic job. We haven't seen any swimmers just yet, so our safety crews, they might have their feet up, but I'm sure throughout the day we might see a little bit of changing there. And there it is. Young Oliver Moore taking out first place. What a job. Second will go to our sculler from Somerset College, Jamie Dirksimmer. But being challenged there by the Cathedral School of Ethan Raidmaker. Those 3 quite comfortably securing themselves a spot in the semi-finals. And that final qualification spot going to Trinity Lutheran College, Jay Bush. He's even taken down, he knows he's done the work. He's not waiting for the hooter. He's quite happy with his jump. 5th place going to Cathedral School, Daniel Pang. And our final 4 scullers still on the course. Our final race is coming through there. Our sculler from Shalom, Ignatius College.
Keep going,
now into our fifth and final heat of the Year 8 Schoolboys Single Scull. In lane 4, the Cathedral School, Angus Guttison. In lane 5, the Cathedral School, Logan Davey. In lane 6, Shalom, Noah Burke. In lane 7, Ignatius, Tashi Hammond. In lane 8, Varsity College, Liam Finch. And in lane 9, Rockhampton Grammar, Sebastian Key. Finally in lane 10, Genesis Christian, Oliver Nash. So this is our smaller of the heats in terms of numbers of participants. We can see these athletes equally challenging the conditions. Hasn't deterred them from lining up and racing today. And once again, our first 4 places will qualify for the semi-finals in this event. And once again, it does look like we have some clear race leaders. A little bit too hard for me to call it at this stage. I do feel though it is our sculler there in lane number 5 from Cathedral School, Logan Davey, who is currently in the lead, but please don't hold me to that because our young gentleman there from Ignatius, Tashi Hanman, looks to be stroke for stroke matching his rhythm and intensity. And just out of frame here, there is a sculler further down, I believe from Rockhampton Grammar, who's very much in that mix too. So it does look like we've got a clear dividing line between our first 4 races and final 3, but can't quite tell you who's leading. Great push there by the young sculler from Ignatius. Lifting the stroke rate up. Whoop. Speed wobble there. What a fight do we have for first place. We got 3 crews progressing into the Red Boys together. Does look like the Cathedral School, Logan Davey, has got the slight advantage. However, that being said, Tashi Hammond and Liam Finch of Ignatius and Varsity College respectively doing a fantastic job challenging that sculler. What a race do we have here. It's not over. We've got 4 qualifiers clearly ahead. But what a push coming through lane 9 here of Rockhampton Grammar. Sebastian Keys doing an awesome effort to move ahead and secure himself the first position in this heat. Followed there by Logan Davies of Cathedral. I believe Liam Finch of Varsity. And then Tashi Aman of Ignatius. They will take out our 4 qualification spots. Sorry. Shalom then. That wind has picked up, but we've moved into our next event, the Championship Schoolgirl Year 9 Double Sculls. Looks like our races are moving into the starting blocks. Again, quite a full field. Our progression once again 1 to 4, moving through to the semi-finals. 5 heats in this event. For our Heat 1. In lane 2, St. Patrick's Townsville, Tivia Takarangi and Charlie Skinner. In lane 3, Somerville 2, Sunny Pini and Olivia Norman. In lane 4, St. Margaret's, Georgina Richardson and Alice McMaster. In lane 5, Trinity Lutheran College, Grace Forster and Addison McIntyre. In lane 6, Townsville Grammar, Tyler Green and Claudia Gates. In lane 7, All Hallows 3, Maggie Rowan and Sophia White. In lane 8, Stuart Home 2, Maya Tully and Alania McKay. In lane 9, Rockhampton Grammar 2, Evelyn Lloyd and Madeline Lloyd. In lane 10, the Cathedral School, Louise Birchmore and Tori Sullivan. These crews have got off to a great start. It does look to be that crew in lane 6 of Townsville Grammar, in lane 7 of All Hallows, who have taken that early lead. The crew of Maggie Rowan and Sophia White. And just announcing now that we are open for breakfast, hosted by Lewis Hill. So please make sure. I've just been handed a delicious bacon and egg roll. I can't wait to dig into that. But we are now open for breakfast. Once again, turning our heads to the course. What a race have we got on here in the Year 9 Schoolgirls Double Scull. Much tighter field, a lot easier to manage the conditions as we move into crew boats. Still very tricky, quite a significant headwind, and we can see those ripples on the water. Some crews struggling a little bit with steering. Once that bow gets pushed over, it does become quite challenging to manage. But I would say it is our crew there from All Hallows of Maggie Rowan and Sophia White. They've done a fantastic job as we move through the halfway mark here, the 500 meters to go. Tell you what, having these drone footage has made this significantly easier to call races when you're not staring just at a tree and can actually watch rowing. These young ladies sitting at 33 strokes a minute. Just getting caught up with the blades being pulled in a little bit deep, but it's not deterring their speed. They're managing to maintain their length, maintain their rhythm as they move away from the rest of the field. Being challenged there by our crew from St. Patrick's in Townsville, number 1. Stuart Home, number 2. They're probably the ones hot on the tails, trying to challenge these young ladies from All Hallows. But where we see them in the frame there, doing a great job to hold that race intensity. That wind picking up slightly as we move into the final 250 meters. This is where we're going to see some intensity lift. There's definitely still a lot of crews contending for that final qualification spot. Top 4 moving through. You can see coming into frame here, young ladies there from Rockhampton Grammar. Stuart Home fighting it out. And if we move further across the field, St. Pat's Townsville. Those 3 crews most likely going to take out those final qualification spots as they've moved away from the 5th place crew. But there's still plenty of meters to cover before this race ends. You can hear the cries coming out from the banks supporting these young ladies as we're moving into the final stages of this race. Those young ladies from All Hallows, though, they want to make sure they maintain that top position, lifting the stroke rate up, 36 strokes a minute. Trying to make sure their air's not getting under the blades as they move forward. They're maintaining their lead.
But what a challenge we have here. St. Pat's, Townsville, Rockhampton Grammar. Those two crews from the north. Not letting go too easy. Trinity Lutheran doing a fantastic push to move themselves into these top 4 positions. But what a race do we have here for the minor positions. All Hallows taking out the win. St. Pat's will maintain that 2nd place. Rockhampton 3rd. But who's going to get the final place? Stuart Home, Trinity. I can't call that one. We're going to have to send that to the tower. But what a finish do we have in the first heat of the schoolgirls. Year 9 double scale. We'll wait for official result there between Stuart Home and Trinity. But it's our young ladies from All Hallows, Maggie Rowan and Sophia White, followed by Tavia Takarangi and Charlie Skimmer of St. Pat's Townsville, and the sisters Evelyn Lloyd and Madeline Lloyd of Rockhampton Grammar, taking out 3rd. We'll wait for confirmation from the tower between Trinity Lutheran College and All Hallows for that final position. There looks to be a bit of a protest coming from Cathedral. Not too sure what's happened there, but again, let's turn our heads up that course as we have heat number 2 of the schoolgirls Year 9 double sculls. And once again, it's All Hallows of Molly George and Ruby McLeod who have taken a significant lead as they're moving through the final 250 meters. These girls looking very composed. Wintec boat, Wintec oars. They're kitted up. I would say 3 lengths ahead of the rest of the field. Very composed there in lane 10. There's a good contest there between Somerville and I believe Cathedral School for that 2nd place. Somerville holding stroke rate of 28, keeping a little bit lower to make sure they maintain the conditions. Cathedral and Somerville, Stuart Home and St. Margaret's. They're fighting out for the remaining positions in our semi-final. But these young ladies from All Hallows, they heard their sisters take out the first one. They wanted to set the tone in this Year 9 division early. And they're going to progress quite comfortably to the semi-finals. I think it's safe to say Somerville, Stuart Home, and St. Patrick's will take out those remaining spots. It's just depending on the order, but Cathedral look to be holding their 2nd position. However, a late surge from the Somerville crew might change that, but I'd say no, it does look to be Cathedral just crossing the line first, Somerville right on their neck, and the young ladies from Stuart Home taking out that final qualification. What a race we have going on from 5th here between Bundaberg State High School and St. Margaret's. I'll put that one once again to the camera. And our crew from St. Patrick's Townsville, the 4th ranked double, taking out our 7th place. Bridgetine College on the far side of the course. Look, unfortunately, we were impacted a little bit heavier by the conditions. What a race. What a race. This is why we're here. This is why we do it. And we can see the liners lining up our next, heat three of the championship schoolgirls Year 9 double sculls. Well-rounded heat we have here in lane 3, the Sunshine Coast Grammar. Cedar Hugenhout and Georgina Vernon. I think I got the pronunciation of that one right. In lane 4, Bridgetine College, Emilia Johnson and Alexis Gailey. In lane 5, All Hallows 4, Lucy Hawkins and Olive Martin. In lane 6, the Cathedral School, Georgia Gordon, Zoe Webster. In lane 7, Shalom 2, Addison Stanton Cook, and Kiana Reedy. In lane 8, Brisbane Girls Grammar School, Zara Lyons, and Coco Kent. In lane 9, Brisbane State High School, Mania Knox, and Lilia Ho. And in lane 10, St. Margaret's, Sophie Whistler, and Isabel Dockeray. This looks like we might have a little bit of issues lining up here, as again, once you get that bow slightly off, not pointing directly into the wind, it does create challenges as the boats get blown across. Our officials doing a fantastic job to keep these races on track. We've got some pretty proud parents here from Stewart Home as their daughters pass the spectator headland. And so they should be. I think we must give all these girls a huge round of applause, having done a fantastic job managing these conditions. Racing is hard enough as it is, and with these wins not making it any easier for our young athletes. But we're on the way of heat number 3. And what intensity out the blocks there. Does look to be the young ladies from Brisbane State High School taking an early lead. And that All Hallows number 4 crew right there with them. Cathedral there too. We've obviously seen 2 class crews from All Hallows setting the tone in the first 2 heats. Will they be able to take out all 3? But there's 3 bar balls in line. I'm pretty sure if I got a ruler across this screen, you're not going to see anything in it. Cathedral holding the rate nice and high, 36 strokes a minute. All Hallows matching that. Little bit more washy with All Hallows, getting a little bit caught under the water with those blades. It's giving Cathedral that slight advantage. Brisbane State High School and Brigidine very much still in the mix, still in contact as we're moving towards the 500 meter mark. Crews now settled into their rhythms. Trying our best to progress through early. We get the work done early. Makes the ladder in that race that little bit easier. See a few steering issues there. So once that wind gets onto the bow of that boat, does cause it a little bit of issues to maintain that straight line. A lot of these crews used to having the young coxswains steering for them. Now out there doing it on their own. It's that Cathedral School number 1 boat of Georgia Gordon and Zoe Webster have taken the lead in that third 250 meters. I would presume looking to break contact by the time they hit that final 250. By all means, those crews there still challenging them. And Cathedral School, having done it in that third 250 meters, they've looked to broken contact from those schools from Brisbane State High School and All Hallows. Those 2 crews still neck and neck, barbell on barbell once again. I think safely in position to qualify for the final. But once again, probably factoring in the seedings for the semi-finals. Obviously, the higher up you finish, the better the lane draw, the better the seeding you get. And then hope to make it slightly easier to progress through to the finals, which we'll see later over this weekend. It is Cathedral School, Georgia Gordon and Zoe Webster. Done a fantastic job in the middle 500 of this race to push themselves ahead, but that challenge has not ended from All Hallows there. They've actually moved well back into contact. I think a call there from Olive Martin in the bar seat. You know, they've made contact again, but is it enough? Will they have enough water to move themselves back into that first position? They're confident that they're going to make it through to the semis. But right now it seems to be a race for lanes. But I don't think, unfortunately, they have the legs and have to settle for that second position as Cathedral will progress through, taking out the first position in the race. All Hallows will take out the second. Brisbane State High School in third. And Brisbane Girls Grammar take out fourth. Those will be our 4 qualifiers. Bridgetine College there doing a great job putting the pressure on Shalom as our 5th and 6th ranked crews in this race, with Sunshine Coast Grammar following closely. And let's give these girls a round of applause as they finish the race. And that'll be the end of heat number 3 of the championship Year 9 Schoolgirls Double Scull. And heat 4 is underway. It looks to be our young ladies from the down on the Gold Coast, Trinity Lutheran College, Megan Roberts and Layla Galley, out ahead of another crew, All Hallows number 2. And again, we do look like we have 4 boats moving ahead, so just that quick roll call here. Lane 3, we got Shalom 3 of Tora Charlton and Cara McMahon. In lane 4, All Hallows 2 of Abigail Sexton and Alicia Kavosievic. In lane 5, Trinity Lutheran College of Megan Roberts and Layla Galley. In lane 6, Nambour Christian of Sophia Biddle and Ava Cook. In lane 7, Lourdes Hill, Isla Chureshant and Isabella Ross. In lane 8, I'm getting corrected here, but got the earphones on, it's making it difficult to hear. Correct. And in lane 8, Bridgetine College, Annabelle Scolo, Candace Skipper. Lane 9, Rockhampton Grammar, Elia Canifi, Sammy Lou. And in lane 10, St. Patrick's Townsville, Chelsea Skinner and Amia Landy. And what a race we have here. It looks like as we've moved into the latter ends, like All Hallows have done a great push to challenge that crew from Trinity. And it's that girls from Rockhampton. We've got 3 boats, barball on barball, inside the red boys. And they are not far enough ahead, I would say. This race could be anyone. So you can see that crew from Shalom on the outside there, as well as the young ladies from St. Patrick's Townsville, all racing it out for qualification spots. All Hallows and Trinity, though, have moved slightly ahead, barball on barball, fighting it out for that first place again. Although they might be confident thinking they've qualified for the finals, they want to make sure they get that top lane seed. We saw Hallows taking out the first 2 heats in this event. And I will say it's All Hallows have managed to move ahead to secure that first place. But what a race have we got here. Oh, just a slight grab there for the young ladies from St. Pat's, but they've still maintained enough to do a lead. All Hallows will take out 1, Trinity 2, Rockhampton 3, and St. Pat's 4. What a race. Fantastic effort there. It's a very exciting finish. Bridgetine College coming through now. Lourdes Hill rounding that one up. And as we move through now to race number 10, heat 5 of this, and the final heat of our schoolgirls Year 9 double scull. Crews are there on the line. In lane 3, St. Pat's Townsville, McKenna Bianchi and Connor Moore. In lane 4, Varsity College, Sarah Takahashi and Jess Heffernan. In lane 5, Rockhampton Grammar, Emmy Holcomb and Ella Holcomb. In lane 6, Brisbane State High School, Sophia Ravenel and Katerina Cook. In lane 7, Lewis Hill, Stella Beatty and Gabriella Betts. In lane 8, Brisbane Girls Grammar School, Charlotte Balfour and Sarah Hoam. In lane 9, St. Margaret's, Phoebe Johnson and Piper Chalmers. And in lane 10, Shalom, Eloise Walsh and Ariella Killip. Just having a few issues there on the line. Just making sure these crews are lined up fairly. Really have to say, personally love this regatta. It's obviously an interesting one with various schools, associations at different parts of their season. Some, you know, at the end, some at the beginning. But you definitely have to agree that the Queensland School States Championships is a festival of rowing. It's a great opportunity for our young athletes from across the state, north, south, east and west, getting together. You can see those crews now moving into the lanes. Just slightly struggled with the conditions lining this one up for that final heat of this event. But I'm sure that race will be under the way very soon. And they're underway. And what a start we have. The intensity is up. 42 strokes a minute from all 9 of these crews. Brisbane State High School just getting off the mark a little bit quicker. They've obviously been working on that front end of the race, as we saw in a previous heat. But we're still in the early stages. But what a start. Brisbane State High School and Lords Hill taking the early leads. Very clinical execution of their start there. But they're not out of danger yet, as they're closely followed by a battalion of double sculls still in contact. But our young ladies of Sophia Ravenel and Katrina Cook, coached by the great Damon Stokes, look to have pushed away from the field, being challenged there by our crew from Lords Hill. Both those crews having moved a length away from the field, but very much still in contact at this stage. And it does look to be this spectator side of the course that is in favour. We have got 5 boats very much still in contention for those 4 qualification spots. Unfortunately, our crews there in lanes 2, 3, and 4 of St. Patrick's, Townsville Varsity College and Rockhampton Grammar just falling off the pace slightly. However, not out of it just yet. We're only talking about one length, and as we saw in that previous race, those positions can change quite drastically. But moving through the 500-meter mark, it is our crew from Brisbane State High School holding the lead, very closely followed by Lewis Hill. And then our crews from Brisbane Girls Grammar, Shalom and St. Margaret, still fighting it out for those final 2 qualification spots. I really believe we're going to have another exciting finish in this event. Now, it's very important that these young ladies work on their race management. Half the game is progressing through, ensuring you've done enough in each race, whether heat, semi, to get yourself into that final, to obviously race it out for our championship. But look at that. Brisbane State High School now clearly our race leaders. And it's a young lady from St. Margaret's, Phoebe Johnson and Piper Chalmers, who have looked to put on that challenge to the ladies from Lewis Hill. Those two pretty much still within a bar ball of each other for our 2nd and 3rd spot. And then crews from Brisbane Girls Grammar and Shalom fighting it out for that 4th and final qualification spot. But what a race do we have here. I reckon we're going to have 2 very exciting finishes coming our way for these crews fighting it out for those positions. But Brisbane State High School doing a great job managing the conditions, holding an incredible rhythm to break away from the field. They're in the red boys now. They know they're on the way home. That little bit of confidence of that position being out in front, knowing they've secured themselves to be in that next stage of racing, helps calm the nerves a little bit and makes managing the conditions that little bit easier. But what a race do we have now. Let's look at this. These young ladies from Shalom having moved up the field, trying to put the challenge on to the girls from Maggie's and Lewis Hill. We got bar ball on bar ball, 30 meters to go, but those young ladies from St. Margaret's doing a great push, driving it away, taking out that 2nd spot. Lewis Hill 3rd, Shalom 4th. They will qualify through to that next round of racing. And the girls, Grammar girls, will have to settle for 5th. But what a tremendous effort. Rockhampton Grammar 6th. And then as we got another little race happening at the end here for our 7th and 8th positions between Varsity College and St. Pat's Townsville. Once again, putting pride on the line, making sure that their school places that little bit higher. Once again, bar ball on bar ball, but it does look to be the young ladies from St. Pat's just moving ahead. And what an exciting finish to the Year 9 Schoolgirls Double Scull. And now we're back to the young men for the Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull. Still sitting from starting point at the 1,000-meter mark. And I've just had a bite in the this amazing bacon and egg roll from one of our vendors there by Lewis Hill, running the brekkie. So please make sure you head up there. right, and we have our crews in the Year 9 Heat 1 Schoolboys Championship Single Scull. They're in line. In lane 1, the Southport School, Oscar Durman. In lane 2, we've got Churchy, Hamish Taylor. In lane 3, Shalom, Wade Cornell. In lane 4, Brisbane Grammar, Finn Bellatrame. In lane 6, EMAS College, Bo Wilson. In lane 7, Somerset College, Ethan Hu. In lane 8, Churchy 4, Joska Holt. In lane 9, Ignatius, Raymond Whitney. And in lane 10, Rockhampton Grammar 2, Rory Green. And we have a start. Does look like there was two scullers a little bit skew there, but they've managed to correct that course very quickly. And what a fast start we have. Again, these scullers having to really work against these conditions. But it does look to be that sculler in the center of the field. Somerset College of Ethan Hu taking out that early lead. He's got the tempo nice and high there, still sitting at about 33 strokes a minute, having a look over his shoulder to his competitor there from Brisbane Grammar of Finn Beltrame. Moving out with him, Finn now taking out, moving a little bit further ahead, taking a canvas there in those couple of strokes. Sometimes just having that little glance doesn't actually do you justice. But that first 250 meters out of the way, and I would say it's Brisbane Grammar, Finn Beltrame taking out the lead. It's still early stages of this race. We've got Shalom, we've got Somerset, we've got Ignatius. 5 boats contending for those 4 spots to the semi-final. Some of these crews having a little bit of a struggle in the wind there. But look at that form as we get a little bit of a closer shot of these races. Very clean rowing there from these young scullers of Brisbane's Grammar and Shalom. They found their rhythm and maintaining their length. Churchy there of Hamish Taylor doing a bit of a push to try and move himself into that front pack. We've definitely got 4, 5 scullers that are ahead of the remaining field, but they're still trying to dictate which position they might be taking through to that semi-final. Churchy doing a great job there. There's definitely these boys, they're definitely looking to dictate who's going to be first, second, third. But I would say Somerset, Brisbane Grammar, Shalom, and Churchy have moved ahead of the field. Ignatius here on the inside as well, doing a great job to be a part of that pack. We have a great race going for first place here. Almost looks like they're just sort of playing with each other a little bit. No one wants to take it up too high to the point of getting themselves a bit too much fatigue on the legs, but at the same time trying to maintain that positioning to ensure they're through to the semi-finals in the best lanes possible. I think this young lad here from Ignatius, Raymond Whitney, sneaking up on them. I think that race being on the far side of the court, sometimes people don't look over to the outside lanes and see those sort of late challenges. It does look to be like a good race here by Wade Cornell of Shalom and Finn Beltrame of Brisbane Grammar, fighting it out for that top qualification spot. Somerset, Ignatius, and Churchy fighting it out for those remaining 2 qualification spots. But look at that. How well executed was that push for the line? Young Finn here was confident to make that move when he needed to make it, and will take out the win of heat number 1 of the Year 9 Schoolboy Single Scull. Ignatius sneaking up on the pack to take out that second qualification spot. Shalom third and Somerset fourth. Unfortunately, young Hamish Taylor from Churchy will have to settle for fifth and will not progress through. Rockhampton Grammar sixth. And that will be Heat 1 of the Year 9 Schoolboys Singles. Unfortunately, I will have to leave you for a little while to go do some coaching duties. But I'm sure the commentary will be looked after. But make sure you check out our live stream going on at the moment. It's making spectating significantly better as we can see up the course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so apologies for the slight break in commentary. We were just changing over our staff. So we've currently got the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull racing over 1,000 metres, Heat 4. So the first 4 people will be going through to the semi-final and the rest will be eliminated. So at the moment we can see the St. Peter's Sculler in lane 6, chasing it out with lane 7 from St. Luke's in Bundaberg. And it looks like lane 2 is out in front from Churchy Matthew Roberts. And then you could probably throw a blanket over 2nd, 3rd and 4th with the Grammar Sculler coming up right behind, battling it out for that position that is going to go through to the semi-final later on today at races 93 to 95. But actually, correction, I think it's the Corinda Sculler on the far side. Tristan Dugdale, which has a slight lead at the moment over lane 7 from St. Luke's in Bundaberg, closely followed by the St. Peter's Sculler Luca in lane 6. And then it looks like the Grammar Sculler in lane 5. Angus Carson is going to come through and claim that 4th spot to proceed through to the semi-final. And a nice shot there, unfortunately, of a Churchy Sculler being escorted back on the umpire boat. I believe there was a mishap with his single scull, being escorted back into the boating area safely by our volunteer boat race officials, who are out here ensuring the safety and fairness of the regatta. And we see the nice panning shot across the start marshalling area for the next race, the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull Heat number 5. Again, places 1 to 4 going through to the semis later on today. You can see the beautiful backdrop that the scenic rim provides, and it's looking straight over to the Overflow Estate Winery out on the western arm of the lake there, with the scullers at the 750 metre mark, marshalling to then proceed down to the start line and get underway. If you are staying out in the scenic rim during the regatta, we do encourage you to eat local. There is plenty of great cafes, restaurants, coffee shops, pubs, wineries across the entire region, and we encourage you to support the local community and all of the small businesses in and around the scenic rim. And as Rowan Queensland does, we like to stay local and eat local, just to support those guys. If you are feeling hungry, we do have catering on either headland as well. And we are underway with race number 15 here. The Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull, heat number 5. Again, the first 4 crews will progress through to the final. And it currently looks like the Trinity Lutheran and BBC Sculler, so Eli and Magnus, are battling it out for first place, hotly followed by the Southport School Sculler Finn in lane 8 for first, second and third. Seems like there's a little bit of a gap back to the guys battling it out for fourth. But the Trinity Lutheran Sculler looks like he's got half a canvas in front, approaching the last 250 metres of this race. But the BBC Sculler Magnus is hot on his tail, and it looks like Magnus may have just taken the lead over the Trinity Sculler at the moment. And then there's a big battle on for third place between the Churchy Sculler in lane 2, the Varsity College Sculler Kobe in lane 3, and also the Southport School Edward in lane 9. So just again, the first 4 scullers in this race will be going through to the semi-finals later on today, races 93 to 95, and the rest of the field will be eliminated. And we can see the sculler from BBC, Magnus Stempson, crossing the line in first place in this heat, followed by the Trinity Lutheran sculler Eli in lane 5, the Southport School sculler Edward in lane 9, and it looks like the Varsity College sculler is going to take out that 4th place to go directly through to the semi-final, with the rest of the field eliminated. So ladies and gentlemen, throughout the day today, we will be doing some shout outs for our sponsors that are helping us deliver this event. So first one for the day is the Scenic Rim Regional Council. We work very closely with Council to manage and maintain the Wyaralong Dam facility, as well as our lessor SEC water. But the Scenic Rim Council has helped us both with sponsorship and in-kind support for rubbish and the toilets, so helping us to keep Wyaralong beautiful, and we encourage everyone that's on site to do the same. Please pick up your rubbish, pop it in a bin. But yes, a big thank you to Scenic Rim Council for their ongoing support of rowing in the Scenic Rim. So ladies and gentlemen, on screen now we can see race number 16, heat number 6 of the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull. So heat 6 of 7. Once again, the first 4 crews going through to the semi-final later on today. And as you can see, our officials getting a nice kind of straight line across the course there, getting race number 16 ready to fire away down the course. Heat number 6 of the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull in lane 2 from Somerset College. And then lane 3, Southport School. Lane 4, we've got Trinity Lutheran College. Lane 5 is Emmaus from Rockhampton. Lane 6 is Churchy. Lane 7, Rockhampton Grammar School. Lane 8, Brisbane Grammar. Lane 9 is Shalom. And in lane 10 from the Cathedral School. Big shout out to all of our athletes today. We have kids from as far north as the Townsville and Tablelands area, and as far south as northern New South Wales and the Northern Rivers region. Approximately 850 athletes, I think. And we are underway with race number 16, the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull, heat number 6. As I said, first 4 progress immediately through to the semi-final later on today. And it looks like our sculler in lane 10 from the Cathedral School might have an early lead over the Trinity Lutheran sculler in lane 4. And then it's a pretty tight battle for 3rd and 4th there between lanes 9, 7, 6 and 2. And approaching about 250 metres into the race, it looks like the Cathedral sculler is just over a boat length in front of the Trinity Lutheran sculler, who has a canvas over the Somerset sculler in lane 2, but the Somerset sculler is closing fast, as is lane 7, I think that's lane 6, the Churchy sculler. Again, first 4 going through directly to the semi-final later on today. And the Cathedral School sculler is holding on to his lead, still just over a length in front of the rest of the field, with Trinity still in 2nd, and I think Somerset over in lane 2 will be taking the 3rd place at the moment, neck and neck with the Churchy sculler in lane 6, followed by the Emmaus College sculler in lane 5. And it looks like the Cathedral sculler is lifting into the middle of this race, expanding on that lead, now probably a length and a half in front of the Trinity sculler, who's still maintaining 2nd place by approximately half a canvas. But it looks like the Somerset sculler on his right-hand side and the Churchy sculler in lane 6 are hot on his tail. And here we see the Cathedral sculler in lane 10 out in front by about a length and a half now. And you can see the sculler in lane 9 from Shalom in the left-hand side of our screen, coming through probably the 500 metre mark, so halfway through the race, with the beautiful backdrop the scenic rim is giving us today, even if it is a little overcast. But it's the Cathedral School sculler in lane 10, maintaining his lead and probably bringing it out to about 2 lengths now, still over that Trinity sculler in lane 4. And it looks like the Churchy sculler in lane 6 might have pipped in front of the Somerset sculler in lane 2, which is currently in 4th place, and the Shalom sculler in lane 9 a little bit of distance to make up, but could do that in the last third of the race and get that 4th spot to head directly through to the semi-final. And that Cathedral sculler is powering through. He's probably about 2 lengths in front. And then we can see the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th here in lanes 2, 4 and 6. So that's Somerset, Trinity and Churchy. First 4 going through to the final. So even if the Somerset, Churchy and Trinity scullers can cross the line and hold off the sculler from Shalom in lane 9. And also Southport in lane 3. Looks like the Cathedral sculler might have realised how far in front he was, and he's kind of relaxed a little bit. He's still out in front there in lane 10. And as we can see, it's probably the the Trinity sculler's coming through now in lane 4, powering through. So I think it's going to be the Cathedral School, Churchy, Trinity, and Somerset that will go through to the semi-final with the rest of the field eliminated. But it is that Cathedral sculler, Owen Richardson, who comes through with the win in Heat 6 of the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull, followed by Trinity, Churchy, and then Charlie from Somerset over in lane 2. The rest of the field will be eliminated and not progress through to the semis this afternoon. So back to these beautiful panning shots of the scenic rim, we can see the next race coming down the course, which will be the final heat, race 17, the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull. Once again, the first 4 going through to the semis later on today. And it looks like we have a clear leader at the moment in the middle of the course. And we've got the sculler from Rockhampton Grammar on screen at the moment, Archie Becker, coming down the course in what looks to be first place over lane 2, the sculler from Varsity. Once again, the first 4 going through to the final. And then it looks like our sculler over in lane 10 from Southport, Hamish Coleman, is taking in 3rd place, followed by lane 9 from Brisbane Grammar, Hamish Bartlett, taking out 4th place, about 3/4 of a boat length in front of 5th at the moment. But coming in to the last 250 metres of the race and in sight of all of our spectators, it looks to be the sculler from Rockhampton Grammar still out in front in lane 8, Archie Becker, followed by the Varsity sculler on the far side. Looks to still be maintaining that 2nd place to progress through to the semi-final later on today. And here we can see Archie Becker from Rockhampton Grammar coming through, coached by Oliver and Kim Brown. And it's the Rocky Grammar sculler, Archie Becker, coming through with the win, followed by our Varsity sculler in lane 2. And then it is going to be the Southport School, Hamish Coleman, for 3rd, and Brisbane Grammar, Hamish Bartlett in lane 9, taking out that 4th place and progressing directly through to the semi-final later on today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it looks like we've got race number 18, the Championship Schoolboys Year 10 Double Scull, Heat 1, racing over 1,500 metres this time. The first 5 will go through to the semi-final later on tomorrow. And we have 4 heats in this one. So 20 boats progressing through to the final, being that we are at Wyaralong with one of the only 10-lane rowing courses in the world, I believe. And we are underway. Looks like the middle of the fields, lane 3, 4 and 5. The State High, St Pat's, Townsville and also the Lindisfarne crews got a nice start, as well as lane 6 from All Hallows. I apologise. Race 18 is the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull. I've realised my mistake when I said All Hallows, so apologies for that. But it looks like the crew in lane 4 from St Pat's, Townsville of Georgia and Holly are out in front. And then you can throw a blanket over the next 3 crews, which would be Brisbane State High, the Lindisfarne crew of Zara and Ayla, and also the All Hallows boat in lane 6. Once again, first 5 progressing through to the semi-final later on this afternoon. So that St Pat's Townsville crew is out in front by about 1.5 lengths to 2 lengths now, getting followed in second place by the crew from All Hallows of Allegra and Zoe, and then the Lindisfarne crew in lane 5 of Zara and Ayla in third, with the Brisbane State High School crew of Angela and Hannah coming up in 4th place at the moment. But it's the St Patrick's Townsville crew way out in front, looking like they're expanding their lead to approximately 2.5 lengths now. Hotly followed by All Hallows and Lindisfarne. First 5 crews going through across the 4 heats of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull, racing over 1,500 metres. And it's the St Pat's Townsville crew still with a commanding lead, looking like it's growing to about 3 lengths now, coming into the second half of the race. And here we can see the State High crew second from the right, with the Genesis Christian crew on the right of screen, I think. And we've got the girls from St Pat's Townsville, Georgia Cresswell and Holly Wilkie, coached by Harrison Parks and Savasti Ahrens. Apologies if I've mispronounced that one. Coming through into the last 400 metres of the race, coming past that 1,500 metre marker buoy, and they are well out in front by approximately 3 lengths. And it still looks like the All Hallows crew might have that second spot secured, ahead of the Lindisfarne crew in lane 5. the first 5 crews across these next 4 heats going through to the semis later on in the regatta. And here we can see Allegra and Zoe, followed by the Lindisfarne girls in lane 5. And it's still the girls from St. Pat's Townsville, Georgia and Holly out in front coming into the last 100 metres of the race here, with All Hallows still holding on to that second place, followed by the girls in lane 5, Zara and Ayla from Lindisfarne in third. And with about 20 metres to go, it is going to be Georgia Cresswell and Holly Wilkie from St. Pat's Townsville to take out the win in Heat 1 of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull, with Allegra and Zoe from All Hallows taking out second place, and Zara and Ayla coming through from Lindisfarne Anglican School in lane 5 to claim third. It looks like our State High crew in lane 3 is going to power through to claim fourth spot, the crew of Angela and Hannah, with Somerset College in lane 9, the crew of Esther and Beth coming through to claim that fifth spot and progress through to the semi-finals later on today. And as we can see, the next heat is underway already. Coming down the course hot. And it looks like All Hallows in lane 9 might have a lead of about 2 lengths at the moment, followed by Stuart Home in lane 10. And then potentially lanes 4 and 5. So Varsity and Stuart Home bringing up third and fourth, with the crew from St. Pat's Townsville on the far side in lane 2, bringing up that fifth spot. Once again, first 5 through to the semi-finals later on in the regatta. So the next 2 days we will have heats in the morning and semis and finals in the afternoon. So keep an eye on the live stream and also the draw online to see if your crews have made it, and also look at times if you are interested in that sort of stuff as well. But we can see the girls from Stuart Home on screen now, powering down the course on the outside in lane 10. And I think they're probably still maintaining their second place. Looks like Stuart Home in second over on the far side here, closest to us, with the All Hallows crew in lane 9 in first place. Slightly reduced lead, probably about 1.5 lengths now in front. Coming in to the last 250 metres of our race. And it looks to be the All Hallows crew of Isabel and Sophia in lane 9. Still with a somewhat comfortable lead over the Stuart Home crew in lane 10. And then the crews on the far side of the course. But on screen now, the crew of Isabel and Sophia from All Hallows, and also in the background there, the crew from St. Aidan's of Lucy and Olivia. But it is going to be All Hallows that comes through with the win in heat number 2 of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull, with Stuart Home coming through to claim second. And it looks like St. Aidan's in lane 6 claiming third, followed by Trinity in lane 5. And then Lindisfarne on the far side in lane 2. Coming through to claim those top 5 spots to go through to the semi-finals later on in the regatta on Sunday and Monday. And we'll do another sponsor shout out now. So a quick shout out to Robbie Consulting. Robbie has flown over from the US. He is a rowing coach of 30 years and has been doing consultancy, pairing up families and school students with ideal colleges over in the US. So if you are interested in learning how the US college system works or where to start, go up and approach Robbie. He is in a Scenic Rim Council tent just down from the catering area on the spectators side. And we thank Robbie for his sponsorship of the event and making the way over from the US to come and talk to our young athletes here at the Queensland Schools Championships 2025. So, ladies and gentlemen, underway with race number 20, the heat number 3 of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull, our second last heat. Once again, first 5 crews progressing through to the semi-final later on in the regatta during the finals, which will be taking place tomorrow and Monday afternoons. So we can see the crews from lane 5 from Stuart Home and lane 3 from All Hallows. So the All Hallows crew of Lana and Eve and the Stuart Home crew of Poppy and Prudence coming through, and it looks like they could be in front of the rest of the field at this stage. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, some lovely panning shots of the scenic rim and the beautiful backdrop it provides. As you look up to the start line, that will be the range, the Teviot range. So the Teviot Brook comes in from the west into Wyaralong Dam, and then you've got Crows Creek coming in from the south. And then as you pan across to the finish, you'll see Mount Joyce in the background, which is part of the recreation area here at Wyaralong Dam. But back to racing, we can see the crew from Girls Grammar here of Nave and Olivia coming through with, I think they're probably in second place behind the Stuart Home girls over in lane 5. So it'll be the Stewart home crew of Poppy and Prudence over in lane 5 with the lead here in Heat 3 of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull. First 5 crews going through to the semi later on in the program. And the girls grammar crew over in lane 9 of Neve and Olivia, coached by Callum and Georgia. Look like they are competing with the All Hallows girls over in lane 3 of Lana and Eve for that 3rd place. But first 5 going through. And then it looks like our Somerville crew in lane 7 of Lily and Matilda will be bringing in 4th place, with the girls from Trinity slightly in front of our St Pat's Townsville crew over there in lane 2. But here we have the Stewart home crew in lane 5, Poppy and Prudence crossing for 1st place. From Brisbane Girls Grammar, Neve and Olivia in 2nd. Then we've got our crew from Trinity Lutheran College in lane 8, Ella and Amelia in 3rd. And then it looks like the All Hallows crew in lane 3 of Lana and Eve bringing out 4th. And then our Trinity crew in lane, our Somerville crew in lane, so the 5 crews progressing through will be Somerville, Trinity, Stewart home, Girls Grammar, and All Hallows over in lane 3. So through to the semi-finals later on in the program. So ladies and gentlemen, nice shot straight down the course there. So looking over to the north, you can see Mount Joyce in the centre of the screen. Here at Wyaralong Dam in the scenic rim, that is where you will find horse riding trails, hiking trails, mountain biking, downhill mountain biking, and a lot of other activities that are offered here by Sec Water at the Wyaralong Dam precinct. It is not just rowing. So as we are waiting for the next race to start, I do have Claire Jansen, the Rowing Queensland Event Operations Manager, here with me. She has just returned from Spain over at the World Masters, where she competed with her mother. So Claire, if you wanted to give us a quick briefing on the World Masters as we are watching the start of race number 21, the last heat of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull, with the first 5 crews progressing.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So we headed over to Spain. So it's the biggest World Masters that they've had in recent memory, held at Banyoles in Spain. It was fantastic weather, a little bit warmer than it is today, unfortunately, but a fantastic experience getting to meet a lot of international crews as well as competing with a lot of other Queenslanders and crews around Australia as well. So lots of mixed crews. It's fantastic.
And as we can see here in the racing, it looks like lane 6 might be in front, the crew from Somerville. And then a pretty tight race for the rest of the field. Still early days coming down the course in the first 250 metres of their 1500 metre race, with the first 5 crews of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double progressing through to the semi-final later on in the program. So it looks like we have the crew in lane 6 from Somerville House out in front by about 3/4 of a boat length, followed by the crew in lane 4 from Lindisfarne, hotly contesting second place with lanes 7, 8 and also 9. So the crews from Somerset, Brisbane Girls and Varsity, with the first 5 crews progressing through to the semi-final later on in the program on Sunday and Monday afternoons. But it's the crew from Somerville House out in front. Looks like the Varsity crew just had a slight steering issue there. Looks like they might have caught a crab and slowed a little bit, but still up in contention to progress through to the semi-finals. In second place at the moment, it looks like the crew from Somerset College in lane 9 over on our side of the course here, followed by the girls in lane 8 from Brisbane Girls, the crew of Saskia and Amelia. So Somerville looks like they're growing their lead to about a length and a half now over the crew in lane 9 from Somerset College of Jess and Tamar. And then probably the crew in from All Hallows in lane 5 of Jasmine and Jessica, with their nose slightly in front for third place. And then the Varsity and Brisbane Girls Grammar crews look like they are holding on to 4th and 5th, which means they will progress through to the semi-final later on today. Later on in the program, I apologise. So we got the girls from Somerville House there in the shot from, Bridget and Maria from Somerville House in lane 6, still with their nose in front in the lead. And the girls from All Hallows in lane 5 of Jasmine and Jessica holding on for second place, it looks like at the moment, with the first 5 crews coming through into the semi-final later on in the regatta. So entering the last 500 metres of the race, going past that 1500 metre marker buoy, and it's still the crew from Somerville in lane 6 with their nose in front, the crew of Bridget and Maria, coached by Alan and Georgie. And then the crew in lane 9 of Jess and Tamar from Somerset College, holding on for second at the moment, looks like about a length in front. But the crew from Somerville House here, Bridget and Maria, doing a brilliant job, looking nice and comfortable, nice long strokes, sitting comfortably in front, knowing that they're going to progress through to the semi-final later on in the program. And it looks to be the crew from Somerset in lane 9 of Jess and Tamar still holding on for that second place, approximately a length in front of our crew from All Hallows of Jasmine and Jessica. And the crew from Somerset on screen now, coming through for second place in lane 9. And as we pan out there, you can see All Hallows still with their bow in front of the Varsity crew, I think. Yeah, so the crew of Ariana and Liliana in lane 7 there from Varsity College. And you can also see our crew from St Aidan's of Audrey and Zoe over in lane 10. But it is still the Somerville girls in lane 6, out in front, coming through for the win in the final heat of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 Double Scull. Once again, first 5 crews progressing through to the semi-final later on in the program on Sunday and Monday afternoons, with a comfortable lead of about 3 lengths. The Somerville girls will cross the line in first. And it seems like the Somerset crew in lane 9 is lifting slightly, to come through and claim second in front of the All Hallows crew over in lane 5. With the Varsity College crew of Ariana and Liliana in lane 7 coming through to claim 4th spot ahead of the crew from Brisbane Girls Grammar in lane 8 of Saskia and Amelia. So congratulations to all of our crews there in the Championship Schoolgirls Year 10 double scull, with 20 of those crews progressing through to the semi-final later on in the program. We now move to the first of our 2 kilometre races. And we've got race number 22, the first heat of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 single scull, racing over the full 2 kilometre course. So this is heat 1. And again, first 5 going through to the semi-final later on in the program. And it looks like our crew from Rocky Grammar in lane 5 with an early lead, about a canvas in front of the St Luke's sculler from in lane 7. And then potentially our St Peter's sculler Lily in lane 9, battling it out with the Trinity sculler over on the far side in lane 2 for 3rd place. Once again, first 5 going through to the semi later on Sunday and Monday afternoons. So, ladies and gentlemen, as race number 21, the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 single scull is coming down the course, we'll shout out another of our sponsors, this time Giles from the Regatta Shop, providing all of our regatta merch. They are stationed over on the competitor headland, or the Rowing Queensland headland. So if you're wanting to pick up a shirt or a hoodie and get some official merch from the Queensland Schools Championships 2025, go and see Giles and his team over at the Regatta Shop. So it looks like lane 6 is now in front by approximately half a boat length, which is our sculler Maddie McLaughlin from Somerset College. Just ahead of our crew in lane 5 from Rockhampton Grammar of Jasmine Brewery. And then over to our Trinity Lutheran sculler in lane 2, Sophie Clifford, with the first 5 progressing through to the semi-final later on in the program. So it looks like Maddie McLaughlin from Somerset College growing on her lead, now approximately a length and a half in front of the sculler from Rockhampton Grammar, Jasmine Brewery, in lane 5. Still with Trinity on the far side in lane 2, probably half a boat length in front of our sculler over here in lane 10 from Good Samaritan Catholic, Jamila. So at this stage, we've got Maddie from Somerset still out in front by about a length and a half ahead of our sculler from Rockhampton Grammar, Jasmine, in lane 5. And then over to lane 2, Trinity. Sophie currently sitting in 3rd place. There's a bit of a battle going on for 4th and 5th to get those last couple of qualifying positions through to the semi. So Cathedral School in lane 3. Somerset in 6, and then it looks like our Good Samaritan sculler in lane 10, Jamila Malou Hines, battling it out for that 5th spot to go through directly to the semis later on in the program. And here we can see the Cathedral sculler on the right-hand side of the screen, Hayley Burgers in lane 3, and then our leader, Maddie McLaughlin, in lane 6 in the blue and green Zooty there on the left of screen in lane 6. And it's the Somerset sculler still out in front with approximately a length lead. Oh, sorry, 2 length lead. So Sophie Clifford from Trinity Lutheran on screen here over in lane 2 in one of the top 5 positions. But it looks like Maddie McLaughlin in lane 6 from Somerset still out in front. So going through in one of those top 5 positions through to the semi-final later on in the program. So it's our Trinity sculler over there in lane 2 on screen on the right there, just disappearing, with our Good Samaritan Catholic sculler here in lane 10, Jamila Malou Hines, rowing out of Marucci Rowing Club up on the Sunshine Coast. So it looks like at the moment it will be Maddie, our Somerset College sculler, in lane 6, Sophie, our Trinity sculler, over in lane 2, the Cathedral School Hayley Burgers in lane 3, taking out those first 3 spots, and then still a little bit of a battle going on for 4th and 5th here, with lane 10 Jamila, lane 3 Cathedral, and lane 4 Brisbane State High School. But we can see our first 3 scullers here. So lane 6, Maddie McLaughlin from Somerset crossing the line first. And it's going to be Sophie Clifford from Trinity, possibly just pipping the sculler from Brisbane State High School. So it looks like it'll be lanes 2, 4, 6, 10, and And ladies and gentlemen, we've already got the next race on the course, race number 23, Heat 2 of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 Single Scull. And it looks like our sculler here from St Margaret's in lane 9, Matilda Baxby, might have her bow well and truly in front by 2 to 3 boat lengths from our St Peter's sculler on the far side, it looks like at this stage. But it is Matilda with a comfortable lead at the moment. So we've got our St Peter's sculler, Mia Murphy, on screen there in lane 8. Our Townsville Grammar sculler, Sophie Andrews, in lane 7. And our Somerville sculler, Phoebe Hurst, in lane 3, currently on screen there. Looks like Phoebe might be in second, with our St Margaret's sculler, Matilda, still out in front, followed by our Somerset College sculler, Brooke, coming through in third. Once again, first 5 going through to the semi-finals later on in the program. And it is our St Margaret's sculler, Matilda, in lane 9 there, crossing for first place, followed by our Somerville sculler, Phoebe Hurst, in lane 3, which will take our second place. And it looks like Brooke Bowden, from Somerset College in lane 4, crossing for third. And it's going to be a nice tight race for those 4th and 5th spots going through to the semi. I'm going to have to leave that one to the judges. That was a bit too close to call from where I'm sitting, but a very close battle for the 4th and 5th spots that progress through to the semi-final later on in the program on Sunday and Monday afternoons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we've got race number 24 on the course currently, which is the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 Single Scull, heat number 3. Once again, first 5 heading through to the semi-finals later on in the program on Sunday and Monday afternoon. And for those of you on site here at the 2025 Queensland Schools Championship Regatta, we have just been reliably informed that Lewards Hill College caterers on the Spectators Headland have their beautiful pulled pork and beef burgers ready to go for lunchtime. So if you're feeling peckish, head on up there. And then we also have the crew from Valley Pride Produce over on the competitor headland, also doing some wonderful food, drinks and sandwiches. So on screen now, looks like our St Peter's Lutheran sculler, Stephanie Pettigrew, might have her bow out in front on the far side of the course in lane 3. Closely followed by our St Aidan sculler, Bethany Petrie. and Chelsea Skipper from Brisbane State High School there in lane 5. But at the moment, it looks like Stephanie in lane 3 has her bow out in front, leading the race with approximately 500 metres to go, with the first 5 scullers in the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 single going through to the semi-finals. And we've got our sculler here from St Aidan's, Bethany Petrie there on screen, heading down the course in lane 4, next to our leader Stephanie in lane 3, and to the left of screen there, Chelsea Skipper from Brisbane State High School in what I think is 3rd place from the angle I am currently on. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful backdrop there of the scenic rim and the Teviot Range. So Stephanie Pettigrew coming through fairly comfortably with about a 2-length lead there, hotly followed by Bethany from St Aidan's in lane 4 and Chelsea Skipper from Brisbane State High School in lane 5 over on the far side of the course. Once again, first 5 scullers going through to the semis. And at the moment, it probably looks like our Stewart Home sculler Sophie in lane 6 is going to be sitting in 4th place with a slight lead over our crews from Cathedral and Rocky on the left-hand side of the course in lanes 9 and 10. But it'll be the St Peter's, St Aidan's and Brisbane State High School scullers in lanes 3, 4 and 5 on the far side there on screen, coming through in the with a very comfortable lead of approximately 4 lengths over the rest of the field, with the first 5 going through. The battle for 4th and 5th, once again, ladies and gentlemen, is looking like it will be pretty tight across the field. I think it's the Stewart Home sculler Sophie Fryer in lane 6 with her bow in front, potentially claiming that 4th spot. And then at this stage, probably the sculler from the Cathedral School in lane 10, Alyssa, coming through with her bow slightly in front. But as we can see, Stephanie Pettigrew coming through with the win from St Peter's Lutheran College, closely followed by Bethany Petrie from St Aidan's in lane 4, and Chelsea Skipper from Brisbane State High School in lane 5 with a very comfortable lead over the rest of the field. It looks like our Stewart Home sculler Sophie Fryer from in lane 6 will come through to claim that 4th spot. And then it's a battle between the Cathedral School Alyssa and St Luke's Katie Freeman in lane 7 to get that 5th spot to qualify for the semis. With the Cathedral sculler lifting, Alyssa is going to come through and claim that last spot to progress through to the semi-finals later on in the program, and unfortunately the rest of the field will be eliminated. So, ladies and gentlemen, on screen now, race 25, the final heat of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 Single Scull, racing over that 2,000 metre full distance. Again, first 5 scullers going through to the semi-finals at race 101 and 102 later on in the program on tomorrow or Monday afternoon. So it looks like our Lindisfarne sculler, Ayla Drury, over there in lane 3, has a very comfortable lead of 3 lengths over the Brisbane State High School sculler of Norma Jansen in lane 4. And then probably over to Somerset College in lane 9, Alana Thomason. But it's Ayla Drury from Lindisfarne with a very comfortable lead here over on the far side in that beautiful pink-looking boat. Followed by Norma Jansen from Brisbane State High School in lane 4 as they come into the last 500 metres of this race. Good to see that the wind has started to settle down a little. There was a bit of a northerly headwind this morning. But beautiful shot there of Ayla Drury from Lindisfarne Anglican School in lane 3, powering down the course and entering the last kind of 450, 400 metres of the race. Again, it looks like closely followed by our Brisbane State High School sculler. But on screen at the moment, lane 3 from Lindisfarne, Ayla Drury with a comfortable lead. Taking through that first spot for progression into the semi-finals later on in the program. And then we have our Brisbane State High School sculler in lane 4, Norma Jansen, still holding on to that second place by a length and a half. And then it looks like we've got a bit of a battle going on for 3rd and 4th, and also 5th for that final progression spot into the semis later on in the program. So our Somerset sculler, Alana Thomason, in lane 9 there on shot. Powering down the course in what, at the moment, battling it out for kind of 3rd and 4th place for progression through, with our Brisbane State High School sculler in the background there in lane 4, Norma Jansen. All right, so we've got our St Margaret sculler there in lane 10, Ayla Miles on screen, just disappearing off to the right, and Kenmore State High School in lane 8. But back to our leader, Ayla Drury in lane 3 from Lindisfarne Anglican School, about 100 metres from the finish line with a very comfortable 3 to 4 length lead. Still with our Brisbane State High School sculler Norma in lane 4, holding on for 2nd place. Ahead of Somerset College, Alana Thomason in lane 9, which looks like she will come through for 3rd. And at the moment, it looks like Sophie from Kenmore State High School in lane 8 and Ayla from St Margaret's in lane 10 will be our first 5 qualifiers in this final heat of the Championship Schoolgirls Year 11 Single Scull. And it's actually the Somerset sculler, Alana, that came through just to claim that over our State High School sculler. But both of them will qualify, coming through in those 2nd and 3rd spots, with St Margaret's and Kenmore State High School finishing out the first 5 to progress to the next stage of racing. So, ladies and gentlemen, next race on the program will be race number 26, the Championship Schoolboys Year 10 Single Scull, racing over 1,500 metres with 4 crews heading through to the semi-finals later on in the program. And I have been called off onto other duties, so I will be handing over to Alex Bruni, who is in the Somerville House First 8 in 2018 and coaches at Somerville House currently. And she will be taking you through for the next section of the program.
All right, thank you, Dave. We have a start in the Year 10 Single Scull, so it looks like it's pretty close at the moment. So it looks like we have a bit of a lead from lanes 6 and 7, so that would be Kenmore State High School and the Cathedral School, but it is quite close for the top 4. So top 4 is the progression for this into the semi-final. So that's currently lane 2, 4, 5 and 6. Alright, we're coming through the 1,000 metre mark there. So this is a 15,000 metre race. So just over half to go. It looks like the Somerset sculler Marcus Fox is out in front, followed very closely by Trinity Lutheran College, Kai. Brisbane Grammar Scholar on the outside in lane 1 is pushing up. Top 4 going through, so very close. We have a couple of vendors here today, so ADF Careers, are on the spectator headland if anyone's interested in having a bit of a chat. So on screen there is Genesis Christian College, James Gordon in lane 7, and lane 5 is Kenmore State High School, Joshua Bradbury. Lane 2 on the outside, Somerset College, Marcus Fox up in the mix as well. Followed by Z4, Trinity Lutheran College, Kai. The top 4 going through, and the rest will be eliminated. This is the first of 7 heats, so quite a few in this race. Alright, coming through into the last 100 metres or so. Looks like lane 2, Marcus Fox is in the lead, followed very closely by Kenmore State High School. Oh, bit of a rough stroke there. So coming along the line in first, looks like lane 5, followed by 7, and then lane 2 on the outside. Really great race there for the first heat of the Year 10 single scull. The boys. Alright, we have a start in race 27. This is also Year 10 single scull. Same progression, 1 to 4 into the semi-final. Looks like a lead in A9 from Townsville Grammar, Nicholas. And the rest of the field is pretty tight at the moment. So they've just started from the 1500 metres again. This is a step up in Year 10. Year 9 is 1000, so this will be a new experience for a lot of them. So really clear race lead so far from Townsville Grammar, and the emergence of a bit of a midfield from lane 3, 5, 6 and 10 from what I can see. So and again, just a reminder that the pulled pork and beef burgers are ready to go on the spectator headland if anyone's looking for some lunch. Really tight through the middle here between those scullers mentioned before. Should make for an interesting rest of the race. Slight lead coming out from lane 10, Red Bank Plains State High School, Cassidy. Still a great lead there from Nicholas from Townsville Grammar. So on screen there, Nicholas from Townsville Grammar. You can see Samuel Ray from Southport School pushing up there as well. Yeah, starting to form a bit of a catching up to Nicholas there is Cassidy from Red Bank Plains State High School. Still 1 to 4 through in this round, so the 3rd and 4th position are still quite close. There we've got A6, Bundaberg State High School, A8, the Southport School, Alright, coming into that last 250, it's really anyone's game at this point. Still a lead there from Townsville Grammar, Red Bank Plains. Just a little push through there from the scholars coming through. Looks like A6 there is really pushing through from Bundaberg State High School, and also A3 Aiden Jeremichenko on the outside. So Nicholas will take out the heat, followed by Cassidy from Red Bank Plains State High School. Third, I think, was Bundaberg State High School, followed by the Southport School. Samuel in 4th from where I am. Alright, so we have a start in race 28, which is the 3rd heat in the Year 10 single scull for the boys. In this race it looks like we've got a bit of a leader. Believe that might be lane 7 Ignatius. Sorry if I've said that wrong. Seth. But still quite tight after that. So out in the mix for the top 4 is lane 3, sorry, Zane from Churchy. Lane 3, Varsity College, Maurice. Just a little bit back at the moment is Trinity Lutheran, but definitely not out of it. These 1500 metre races can, in a small boat, still be quite open right up until the end. So on screen B8, Brisbane Grammar, Samuel Kelly. Quite a lot of push there from Zane from Churchy. So B6 there, the Cathedral School, Thomas. B8, Brisbane Grammar, Samuel Kelly. Putting in a really good push there as we come into that last 250 metres. Looks like Zane out in front. Good push there from B9, State High School, Gus. And B6 still up with it in the Cathedral School, Thomas. Going to be another tight heat for top 4. Really not much left in it. Trinity Lutheran really pushing there to be in the top 4. So first will be Zane from Churchy, followed by Samuel from Grammar. I think third there was B6. We have another couple of vendors on the spectator headline today as well. Tuck Active, I hear, if you're interested in some new rowing gear, as well as 776 BC. Alright, so we've made a start in race 29. The Championship Schoolboys Year 10 Single Sculls. This is heat number 4. I believe at the moment we might have a bit of a lead from lane 2. Trinity Lutheran, Zach Wood. In the green Zooty. C4 we've got the Southport School with Cruz. He's running quite comfortably at the moment. Again, top 4 is through to the semi-final, which will be held later in the program. Very comfortable lead there from Trinity Lutheran College, Zach Wood, over the rest of the field. It's in a green boat as well. It's very easily recognisable. So, looks like lane 3, the Southport School Cruise, again, is still in maybe around second place, followed by State High Kenny Noble in third. So it is top 4 through. I'm thinking that 10th could be C10, Max Woolley. He's having a good push there through to the last 250. It's really about maintaining and advancing through this phase. So top 3 is pretty clear at this point. I think Zach Wood will have a great win there in Heat 4 of the Championship Schoolboys Year 10 single. There crosses the line. Followed by Cruz from the Southport School will be in 2 or 3. State High, Kenny. And there'll be a good fight here between Max Woolley and Harvey Wilson from Churchy, but I think it will go to Max Woolley. Yeah, Max Woolley in 4th there, so he will progress to the semi-final. Alright, this is heat number 5 of the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Single Scull. We have a pink skull. I think that could be the Cathedral School, David, in lane 10 at the moment with a bit of a lead. So Townsville Grammar in lane 4, Grant McKenzie looks to be making a bit of ground there. As well as Somerset College, Hugo, but it is still the Cathedral School Scholar out in front. Again, top 4 progressing through to the semi-final. Yeah, very tight between the top 3 at the moment, with a good challenge there for 4th. I think they're about halfway through the race here. It looks to be at this point the Genesis Christian College Toby in 4th, but it is quite close between him and Lachlan Clark from Brisbane Grammar School in lane 2. In this race we also have Campbell Young from Churchy, Orlando Reid from Brisbane Grammar, Hayden Nielsen from Nudgee, and Matthew Shapiro from St Luke's Anglican School. It is still the Cathedral School Scholar out in front at this stage. Looks to be Lachlan Clark and Toby Sutherland here who are going to have a good battle there for 4th position to progress through to the semi-final. Unfortunately, if you're not in the top 4, you don't get to row in this category again. You just hope for better outcome in your other races. A lot of racing over the 3 days, so lots of opportunity. So D10, the Cathedral School, coming in quite hot in that last 250 metres. As well as D7, Somerset College, and D4, Townsville Grammar. That's Grant McKenzie. This will be another closely contested heat in the Championship Schoolboys Year 10 Single Scull. Heat 5 of 7. So a lot of entries in this division. So a strong lead there now from the Townsville Grammar Scholar Grant McKenzie. And still holding on will be the Cathedral School David. Third and fourth will be pretty close as our top two cross the line now. From where I am, that looked like D7, Somerset College, followed by Genesis Christian, Toby Sutherland, but definitely very close there and might need the results to confirm. Alright, so in lane 2 we've got Townsville Grammar, Cameron Mills. Lane 3, Genesis Christian College, Stephen. Lane 4, the Southport School, Murdoch Smith. Lane 5, Anglican Church Grammar School, Levi Lodge. Lane 6, Brisbane Grammar, Magnus Cornell. Lane 7, Nudgee Jack Wells. Lane 8, Brisbane Grammar, Liam McCormack. Lane 9, the Cathedral School, Jens. Lane 10, Somerset College, Josh. So they've off to a start in our second last heat. So you would have seen them sort of lining up on a bit of an angle up at the start line. That's to sort of try and combat some of the wind that's happening out here today. Got an early lead here from lane 4, Murdoch Smith. And then again a tight midfield, all in contention for those top 4 spots. I think lane 3, Genesis Christian College, might be pushing up a little bit there, as well as lane 9 from the Cathedral College and lane 8 from Brisbane Grammar. So the top 4 from these races will progress to a semi-final, and there'll be a number of semi-finals to narrow down the rowers into who will race in the final. Very confident race so far from the Southport School Sculler Murdoch Smith. He seems to have a reasonable lead with a bit of clear water over the rest of the pack. So still the Southport School with a comfortable lead. And we've got a bit of pushback from Townsville Grammar, as well as Genesis Christian College and the Cathedral School in lane 9. So this is race 31 of the day. This will again be quite closely contested for the 3rd and 4th, 5th positions. Lane 3, 2, 4 and 9 are all up in the mix. That on screen is E10, the Southport School Murdoch Smith, still holding quite a comfortable lead over the rest of the field. Brisbane Grammar in lane 8 also up in the mix. Liam McCormack. The rowers are probably entering their last 300 metres of the race. Really seeing a back down at the rate from lane 4, Murdoch Smith. Still quite high for the rest of the rowers, trying to make in that top 4 positioning. This is a very tough heat in the Championship Schoolboys Year 10 single sculls. Seems to be quite close with all the rowers. So you will sometimes see in heats if a rower has a quite comfortable lead, they might back it off a bit. If they know they're going to make it into that progression, just to conserve energy for other races. So looks like Townsville Grammar on the outside. Cameron Mills is making a real push for it, same as Genesis. Southport School will still hold on to that lead, I believe. And then on this side, the Cathedral School and Grammar really going at it for that top 4. That was a win for the Southport School, and the rest is too close to call from where I am, but really, really closely contested there for the top 5. Alright, this is the last heat in the Championship Schoolboys Year 10 single scull. So heat number 7, progression's the same, 1 to 4. And again, quite close in this field so far. In this race, we've got Trinity Lutheran College, Genesis Christian College, Brisbane Grammar, the Southport School, the Cathedral School, Somerset College, Brisbane Grammar, Corinda State High School, and Churchie. So it looks at this stage to be a bit of a lead there from Brisbane Grammar, Henry, and then the Southport School Tice seem to be our race leaders at the moment. They're pretty neck and neck. And a bit of a push, it seems, from the Somerset College Michael Zeng as well. On the outside, Trinity Lutheran College also pushing through, as well as Oliver Catterick from Brisbane Grammar in lane 8. Just behind this main pack, but still in, is Genesis Christian athlete Alex Kennedy. So pretty clear race leaders at the moment between Brisbane Grammar and the Southport School in lanes 4 and 5. And then just a little bit back to the Somerset College representative Michael Zhang. The Trinity Lutheran College scholar Connor Ellis has really pushed back and is now in the mix for that top 4 spot. So on screen there we have F4 Henry Stroughton from Brisbane Grammar and Tyce Miller Wright from the Southport School. So coming into that last 100 metres, looks like a pretty good lead there from Henry from Brisbane Grammar. As well as Tyce Miller Wright from the Southport School. Those 3rd, 4th and 5th positions again very tight in this heat. Heat 7, the final heat. And it actually looks like the Brisbane Grammar Oliver Catterick might pull in there in front of the TSS Sculler. I believe Tristan Dugdale from Corinda State High School might have snuck in there as well as the TSS Sculler. So that concludes the racing in the Year 10 single scull heats. So we have our last scullers crossing over now. Alright, we have a bit of a break in the programming now. The next race will be the Championship Schoolboys Year 9 Double Scull Heats, and they will be commencing at 10:50